And hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Sports Talk as we go back now to 1973. This is, of course, Derby Day, but no Derby going on now. It will be a run as of today, scheduled for September 5th of this year in Churchill Downs, Kentucky. But since we don't have a live race today, we thought we'd go back to the beginning of it all for one of the all-time, if not the greatest, definitely the greatest horse. I shouldn't say if it is. It was Secretariat back in 1973. The beginning of it all on the classic Triple Crown run that Secretariat made. Here we go to 1973's running of the Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs, Kentucky. We pick up CBS coverage. Yes, CBS did the races back then with Chick Anderson doing the call. You'll also hear Jack Whitaker and Halewood Hale Broon, two great sports announcers of the time, and a little bit of a post-race recap. But let's go back now to relive the run of Secretariat at the Run for the Roses.
There are 3 horses left, and so I give it to Chick Anderson, who called the race.
They're all in now, waiting for one more to load on the outside. Shecky Green, Secretariat is in the gate. My Gallant is moving in. Now Goldbag waits behind the gate. Moments from a start. They're at the post. All standing well as we wait for the start. Secretariat throws his head a bit. And they're off for the lead. On the inside, that's Angle Light for the lead. On the outside, Shecky Green, Royal and Regal. Then on the rail, it's Restless Jet, followed by Our Native. Up on the outside is Gold Bag. They're by the stands for the first time. Shecky Green is showing the way by a length and a half. Royal and Regal now being moved to the inside, looking for room. Gold Bag is up on the outside. Then on the rail, it's Angle Light, followed by Sham, Our Native, Restless Jet. It's My Gallant, then Forgo. On the outside, Navajo, followed by Secretariat, Warbucks, and finally, Twice a Prince. They're moving on the turn. The leader is Shecky Green, leading by 2.5 lengths. Goldbag is second by a head. Sham now third on the outside by 2 lengths. Royal and Regal fourth. 2 lengths then back to Angle Light in fifth. The Secretariat has made a sudden move and is now sixth. Then it's Restless Jet. Our Native beginning to move up. Navajo, Forgo, and Warbucks beginning to move up, followed by My Gallant and Twice a Prince. They're into the turn and bunching for the lead with Shecky Green, still the leader by a half a length. On the outside and challenging is Sham, and he's now got a head in front. Now Shecky Green responds to the challenge, and those two are heads apart. Royal and Regal is third and holding on. Goldbag drops back. Secretariat is fourth and moving up on the outside and is now third and moving at the leaders as they come for the head of the stretch. They're at the head of the stretch, and Sham is the leader. He leads it by a length. Secretariat is in the center of the racetrack and driving. Shecky Green now drops back. Coming on a bit is Forgo, Our Native on the outside. Now and they're in the stretch. It's Secretariat. Secretariat on the outside to take the lead. Sham holding in second. It's Secretariat moving away. He has it by 2.5. Sham, then on the outside, Our Native. At the wire, it's going to be Secretariat. He wins it by 2 lengths. Sham is second. Our Native third by a neck. Forgo is fourth. Restless Jet is fifth. And it looked like Navajo might have gotten up for sixth. We'll have that for you in just a moment. Right now, let's take a look as they go around the turn. The big horse, the $6 million syndication, Secretariat, responding to what they asked today. Was he the real horse or was he not? And you saw it. He handled Sham very effectively in the stretch, went away to win this race, and he won it with authority. And incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, this was a nice, fast racetrack today, but don't let that take anything away from it. Secretariat just broke the old Kentucky Derby record. 1:59 2/5, and that breaks Northern Dancer's great record by a full 3/5 of a second. Now here's the stretch run. Sham had the lead, and Secretariat. Ron Turcotte uses the right-handed whip twice. You see it there. And now Secretariat comes on to take the lead away. Pinkai is also in a strong drive, but he can't handle him today. Today it was Secretariat's day as he just is drawing away. Watch him pull away as they near the finish line. The margin better than 2 lengths at the wire, and this was a very fast Kentucky Derby, and this horse showed remarkable staying power in the stretch. The early pace was very good, and he went on to win this race with great authority. Sham out-finishing the rest of the field very easily, much the best of the rest. Let's make the margin a little better, 2 1/4 lengths at the finish line. The winning time once again, 1:59 2/5, and that's a new Derby 1 1/4 record.
Well, there's your 99th Kentucky Derby winner, Secretariat, coming in here in record time today, and of course, reestablishing himself now for credentials to become a Triple Crown winner and perhaps the super horse. Ron Turcotte, who said after the Wood that you just had to throw that race out. You couldn't, it was not Secretariat's regular way of going, and he showed them today. The record time, as you see there, 1:59 2, breaking the old one by Northern Dancer of 2 minutes even. And as Frank Wright said earlier today, this track was fast, but not lightning fast. It was going to take a great horse, and of course, Shecky Green just set a blazing pace here in the early part of it, and that all goes to contribute to it. But here is Secretariat, the horse of the hour right now, and the crowd loves it. Ronnie Turcotte. There it is. Listen to him. Choice here and CBS's prediction, and he comes through quite smartly, and I'm sure at this moment that Mr. Lucien Lauren, whom I see walking into the winner's circle now, has taken a big sigh of relief and a few pounds off his shoulders. He's had quite a week, and we'll be talking to him about it. Ronnie Turcotte joins Jimmy Wingfield and Isaac Murphy now as jockeys who have ridden back-to-back Derby winners. The entire team of Meadow Stable and Lucien Lauren, Ron Turcotte repeating here after their success with Riva Ridge last year. This horse syndicated for $6,080,000 earlier this year, and I'm sure that the 28 owners, the 28 people who are members of that syndicate are feeling quite a bit better than they did 2 weeks ago after the Wood Memorial. All right, Woody Bruin, what are your thoughts?
Well, when the crowd booed Secretariat for losing the Wood, they weren't losing because they lost money. They cashed their tickets on Anglite. I think they booed because they thought they had missed a chance to see greatness. Well, they saw greatness on an off day. This horse stands with the best, and that question which was asked at the Wood is answered. We must say that Secretariat's Wood Memorial was like one of those days we all have when you get up and cut yourself shaving and fall downstairs and put salt in the coffee. And he had one of those days, and it was just one of those days. He is all the things that those 10 races before the Wood Memorial suggested. Those who saw him today, I think, saw a horse that they can compare with those of us who say, I saw Citation, or if you're very old, I saw Man of War, or I saw Sunbow, or whatever. This was a race in which we had a sinking of heart at a certain point going around the first turn, when we thought, is it really true? Is he just another horse? He isn't just another horse to Jack Whitaker.
All right, Woody, I didn't mean to interrupt you here, but Secretariat still has plenty of fight and lick in him. He was about to take off out of the winner's circle here, but Eddie Sweat, his groom, has him in hand now. The roses, I guess, being placed over those withers kind of got him upset. He's always been a frisky thing, as Lucien Lauren will tell us, I'm sure, in a moment, and a most handsome animal. They have said that the way they breed today, to get this conformation and beauty, is the chances of repeating it again with all the scientific knowledge is almost astronomical, the odds of repeating it. He's just beautifully muscled, beautifully proportioned, and right now has made a lot of people very happy. Ronnie Turcotte, Lucien Lauren, the trainer there, and takes the roses the second time for Lucien. After being here with Amberoid and Dyke and not winning the Derby, has come back now to win it 2 years in a row. Mrs. Tweedy there in the tan dress to the right, her sister, brother, and the whole Meadow Stable outfit. Posing now for the pictures from, I would guess, 100 photographers out here.
And there you saw it and heard it, the 1973 Kentucky Derby winner Secretariat, who won it in a record time by 3/5 of a second, as you heard there. And, of course, not a total wire win. He was behind there on the backstretch, but came through with a great stride, as he always did, and when he was behind early, and showed that great heart, winning the Kentucky Derby. You also heard some other great horses in that race. Sham, of course, who, if he had not been running in that same year as 1973, probably would have contended for a Triple Crown, maybe even won all three, but he just ran up against Secretariat in that era and came up short. You also heard another horse, maybe the name you might remember, Shecky Green. He's a great comedian of the 50s through about the 80s, and of course he was known as a great horse track guy, and they named a horse out of him. I believe he may have had a piece of that horse, I'm not sure, but anyway, you heard his name, or that horse's name, contending for the race at one point. And then of course Secretariat at fourth in one place on the backstretch came through to win it relatively easily and in a record time. Of course he went on to win the Preakness and then the Belmont by 32 lengths to dominate the field and win the first Triple Crown since 1948 and Citation. The jockey was Ron Turcotte, as you saw, and Lucien Lauren, a very respected trainer. He had won the Derby before, but winning it with Secretariat really put him on the map. Also saw the owners there as well. So a great moment in sports history as we go back to 1973, 47 years ago this weekend, the first Saturday in May, of course. It was May 5th then. We're on May 2nd right now, but no race today. Again, scheduled for September 5th, the Kentucky Derby this year. Maybe without fans. We'll have to see how that goes. But as of now, that race is scheduled for then. So we'll have a very unusual Triple Crown in the fall. All three races scheduled for September through, I would guess, early to mid-October if they keep the same length between them. 2 weeks between the Derby and the Preakness, and then 3 weeks between the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes. So, a little trip back in the time machine as we go back and look at one of the all-time greats in horse racing. We will hopefully do this again in a couple of weeks as we'll look back at the Preakness. But until then, thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you again real soon.